Welcome to our informational series about the upcoming changes to our integration services. Today, we're going to be discussing the new security model for jXchange, focusing on high-level information. If you're a bank or a credit union, this content is directed to you. And for you technical folks, there will be a part 2 that covers additional details that will be important for you to understand. If you're fintech consuming Jack Henry's APIs, please review our informational videos tailored to your needs. So as an overview of the change, the current scope of this project is jXchange Service Gateway. I understand that Jack Henry has a few different APIs across the organization, but this is really focused on jXchange Service Gateway, our enterprise SOAP API gateway. It's been around for over 20 years. We're essentially focusing on the SOAP security model by transitioning to OAuth 2.0 to better align with modern cloud security standards. We'll talk a little bit more about what that means here in just a minute. This is also only applicable to Jack Henry's hosted environment. So no changes will be implemented at the on-prem jXchange environments. Just a real high level current an idea of what jXchange uses today. It's a username and password along with IP whitelisting. That's the current security model. Going forward with OAuth 2.0, that does change, but understand this is not a net new technology. The standard has been around since 2012, and we actually have products today at Jack Henry that use this security model. If you're familiar with the Banno digital toolkit, it's the same technology that we're going to be using for jXchange. A very important note here is that there is no functional change to the APIs themselves. Okay, so we're not changing everything about the SOAP API gateway. All the API calls that function today will continue to function as they have. This is really just the authentication piece that's changing. And this is not a transition to REST. Everything is still SOAP based, it's still XML based, so none of that is changing today. Let's go into a little deeper on this enhanced security piece. As I mentioned today, right now, the service accounts are used to access Service Gateway. We also perform IP whitelisting. That way we can have a trusted source IP for each of the vendors that are communicating with our hosted environment. That goes away. Now going forward in this new environment, we will have, it'll be open to the internet. So there will be no IP whitelisting required. And the whole concept of OAuth 2.0 is this idea of temporary access tokens. And so just for a moment, if you will, just kind of try to follow along with me as I give you this analogy. So think about a person that's a customer of a bank, and they want to get access to the bank's vault. Well, the customer has a private key, which is essentially like think of a special secure printer that they have where they can type out their message and send it to the bank security officer to tell them who you are and what vaults you want to access at the bank. The security officer is responsible for deciding who gets access to what vaults in the bank. The message on the paper would tell the security officer who requested the access and what access they are requesting. But how does the security officer know if the person that sent them the message is who they say they are? Well, that's where the verification tool comes into play, also known as the public key. The public key ensures that the paper the message was printed on was indeed the correct special paper that can only be printed by that private key. If it is the right paper and the person has requested access to vaults that they should have permission to access, then they turn around and send back a secure passcode that can be entered to enter the vaults and access the resources they requested. That's known as the access token. The access token is also available only for a short period of time. So the great thing is the person, once they get the access token, the secure passcode, they can go type that in and enter the vaults over and over and over and over again, but only for a short time. Once that token expires, they'll have to restart the whole process, print out a new message, and take it to the security officer to get a new passcode. All right, moving on to control and observability. One great benefit for our customers is the enhanced control and observability that this change makes available to you. So your credit union and bank employees will be given access. You can select who you want from your institution to have access to this back office, but you guys will be able to review who has credentials today. You'll be able to create new credentials, and you'll be able to revoke existing credentials. Please note that there is still work that needs to be done on the jXchange side, though. So whenever you provision new credentials, they won't immediately work. There will still be a work effort on the Jack Henry side to get that working. And there will be more. I'll provide more information on that in our second video. Another really important aspect of all this is the timing, right? So right now, the new model is available. We can begin testing, and we will start working with vendors in the sandbox, the Jack Henry Shared Sandbox, also known as the DMZ, but really it can begin getting installed in production right away. A couple of dates to note, however, is April of 2026, any new installs will be required to use the OAuth model. And in April 2028, we expect everybody to be migrated, even the existing installs, to be migrated over to the OAuth model. Jack Henry's jXchange team will be taking ownership of this initiative. We will be assisting you all in getting the transition finished out from our side. Obviously, the vendors will also have responsibility to code for these changes. If you have any questions or concerns, of course, how do you get in touch with Jack Henry? You can always reach out to your CRM, but we do have the vendorqa@jackhenry.com email box that you can send your questions and concerns to, and we'd be happy to take a look at that and respond to you in a timely manner. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Keep an eye out on jackhenry.dev for further information and additional videos in the future. Thank you.